anyway, I charged it.
Okay, so today is the 18th of Shvat, the 16th of February. So we're talking about why Chokhmah is also din, why it's also judgment. And we explained that the Chokhmah in the Keter, in the crown, is really judgment. The Chokhmah below, which is already an emanation, so that's already the beginning of the right side, so that becomes Chesed. And same thing we find that in the Torah, the wisdom is used in many times. The wisdom of the Torah is used for judgment, for tzimtzum, for deciding between two things. בדרך כלל, הן הנה שסה לא תעשה, לא תאכל חלב ולא תאכל דם ולא תאכל חמץ, שזהו בחינת הרחקה להרחיקם ולדחותם בשמאל דוחה מהקדושה האלוקית. And in general, the way we would say this is that when it comes to the din of the wisdom, that applies to the prohibitions of the Torah. So the prohibitions of the Torah, they stem from this judgmental aspect that's in wisdom. So for instance, not to eat fat, the fat that's not allowed in an animal, and not to eat blood, and not to eat chametz, all this is to push something away with the left side from the holiness. And in general, it's to separate between the impure and the pure. So anyway, what we get from all of this is that wisdom is also din. ולכן לעתיד לבוא, בגמר כל הבירורים שמבררים על ידי החוכמה ויגלות נגלות אור הכתר, לא יהיה אז בחינת דין וצמצום, עד שאמור הז"ל עתיד חזיר להיטהר. Now the bottom line of this is that after all the clarifications, all the birurim happen, and then the light of the crown will be revealed, then, only then, will there no longer be any din and tzimtzum in the wisdom. Why? Because what's the whole premise? The whole premise we said is that the crown can't reveal itself. If it would reveal itself, it would overwhelm us. So if we're talking about the individual, so we're saying he has talents, he has all kinds of things. The sages call this olamcha, your world. Why do they call it your world? Because olam is from the word concealment, right? The world conceals. So olamcha tir'eh b'chayecha. So you will see your world in your life. What do they mean by that? So they mean it as a blessing, that a person merits to see all his talents brought out in his life. So it's like seeing his world to come. You have to understand that there's an aspect of the world to come that we understand is like a hidden aspect of myself. And so Reb Nachman says every day when a person wakes up, he needs to remember the world to come. Lizkor be'alma da'ati. When do you remember the world to come? Remember that you're going towards something.
Your quintessential self.
Yeah, right. You have to have belief that there's good ahead.
Yes.
That there's many things that have not yet been revealed, and they will be revealed. Yes. In any case, but when everything is finished and everything is revealed, there's no more need for the tzimtzum. The whole reason for the tzimtzum, a lot of people think that tzimtzum is to make space for me. It is to make space for me. But the real reason for the tzimtzum is because if there was no tzimtzum, I'd be overwhelmed. I wouldn't be able to take it all in at the same time.
Revelation
right.
would be...
Full disclosure is too tough.
Matan Torah, wasn't it? In a way, that was...
Right, that they said, we can't take it on. We need you to slowly give it to us. And in the end, they really received it over a number of years.
Yes.
It wasn't immediate.
It wasn't an immediate reception.
So the same thing is with the person's life, and the same thing is with the life of the world. That at some point, everything will be revealed, or at least everything that we have in this particular scheme of things. Can. So that's what he's saying. So when that happens, then the wisdom does not have to have... doesn't need the tzimtzum aspect anymore.
Well, the tzimtzum isn't to give space; it's really to protect.
Right. It's two ways of saying the same thing, but the way that tzimtzum usually is understood, people think that it's making space. Making space is a little bit different than protecting. Protecting is saying you already have space. That's not the issue. Right. The issue is that if I reveal too much to you, you won't be able to handle it. So So life, one of the ways a person should think about their lives is that life is an unraveling of potential. Slowly. But the trick is never to think that it's over, never to think that I'm finished, but rather that there's still more. There's still more to come. Reb Nachman passed away at 38, so it was easy for him to say that. But even people that are 70 and 80 and still have to think this way. Yes. Like the lesson we got from Rev Ginsburg, that at 80 you do a transplant, and the good is yet to come. That at age 80 he does a transplant.
Yeah,
and he feels like there's a lot more to come. It's not. I'm not finished.
What you said is relevant, because I never thought of the fact that the Olam Haba is.
It's in me. It's in me.
Yes, it's in me. Right?
Yeah.
You view it as something like
There's the general,
which
is, like you say, detached or less relevant or maybe less intimate. But there's also the part inside the person himself. A lot of what Chassidus does is transform the general Olam Haba into something that's relatable to every individual. And what's the prime example of all this? The prime example of all this is that the chazir, the pig, is destined to become pure.
Yeah.
That's how the sages describe it. So a lot of people took this literally, like a lot of stuff that they take literally, like eventually we'll eat pig, or pig's not going to stop being not kosher. What are they trying to say? They're trying to say that things that until now seem to be off limits, they become useful. L'itahel doesn't mean that necessarily it becomes carte blanche, etc. It's not the same thing. It's pure. It has purity in it now, and you can use it for certain things. So the main thing that we could say was that in the ancient times, the biggest problem was the science, was the philosophy. That's why we fought the Greeks over philosophy. We had a whole disagreement about what is life about and what is the meaning of life. Does a person have duty towards God, or is it just towards himself? Many things around this. And most people think that, okay, so since we won, it means that we completely discarded them. We have nothing to do with Hellenic thought. We won against them. That's it. It's finished. They've been thrown into dustbin of history. But it's not true. Hellenic thought is still the basis of Western culture.
Of course.
So really, the saying here is that there was no way at the time to use what they were saying. I'm not talking about what they were saying that was completely wrong. But there's a lot of aspects of what they said that were right.
And anything that has, every cult kind told me it's successful, has a shmek of truth.
Right.
Otherwise
it has
it
to.
Wouldn't be. Yeah.
And not only that, it's still around.
Yeah,
it's still the
around.
basis of most everything. So now the basis now is that it's becoming pure. Becoming pure means that we have more and more of an ability to reveal it.
סיימתם? אני לא רוצה בלתי...